Watch this and other mission stories online by visiting AdventistMission.org. Then click on videos at the top.
And finally, for today's episode, let's turn to David Trim and Dragoslava Santrac for a look at Adventist history.
This week, we are going to hear more stories from the new Encyclopedia of Seventh-day Adventists.
Welcome to This Week in Adventist History, or rather, This Year in Adventist History. 2020 will go down in Adventist history for all kinds of reasons, but it was also a huge year for Adventist history because this year we launched the Encyclopedia of Seventh-day Adventists online, the ESDA. I am the editor of the encyclopedia. With me today is Dr. Dragoslava Santrac, the managing editor. Slava, tell us, how have things gone since the ESDA launched on July 1st this year?
Thank you, Dr. Trim. We thank our editors, authors, peer reviewers, church administrators, and readers worldwide for their contribution and continual support. Since the launch on July 1 of this year, we have added over 400 new articles and over 1,000 new photographs. If you haven't checked the encyclopedia yet, please do so at encyclopedia.adventist.org.
Now, thank you for that update, and it's wonderful to hear that we're over 2,500 articles. Much of the encyclopedia consists of biographies. There are also articles on administrative units, organizations, entities, doctrines, but a lot of ESDA is actually stories. Share a story with us, please.
It's a story about George and Mabel Sterling. George Sterling was born December 27, 1885 in Otsego, Michigan. George and his wife Mabel were pioneer missionaries who established the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the Cook Islands and the Marquesas Archipelago of the Pacific Ocean, serving there for 30 years and also for 12 years in New Zealand and Australia, a total of 42 years. The Sterlings' first missionary appointment was Tahiti. They received no outfitting allowance, taking with them only one trunk, 2 suitcases, and 2 small boxes of books. They lived a simple lifestyle with few household possessions, and Mabel became a competent cook using local foods. In Tahiti, the couple expected to be teachers, but encountered fierce opposition from French authorities. This caused them to engage in pioneering evangelism. 2 years later, in 1910, they were appointed to the Cook Islands. Here they served in primitive conditions for 9 years, often derided as dogs. With energy, using every method they could, preaching, teaching, literature distribution, generosity, and kindness, they established believers on several islands. George Sterling is remembered today for beginning a school in Etutaki. During their only furlough in 1923, Sterling contributed to evangelism in Detroit, Michigan. On return to the Pacific, the Sterlings were appointed to work in the Society Islands and with their usual pioneering zeal extended the Adventist mission to the Austral and Tuamotu Islands. Although they retired in 1951, George and Mabel Sterling continued to faithfully serve for another 18 years in retirement.
Thank you so much, Slava, for sharing with us that story that comes from This Week in Adventist History. A really inspiring story. You can read the entire article on the Sterlings and read more than 2,500 other articles and view more than 5,000 photographs in the Encyclopedia of Seventh-day Adventists, available online at encyclopedia.adventist.org. That's encyclopedia.adventist.org. And that was This Week in Adventist History.